Hey, architecture firm owners and emerging leaders. Get ready for unparalleled insight into the development of a world-class architecture firm and a worldwide organization driving the digital transformation of the design and construction industry. With Build Smart, the podcast that's changing how our profession operates. We share the incredible stories behind innovation in the building industry with my friend and co-host, Patrick McLeamy, FAIA, former CEO of the international architecture firm, HOK.
You know, Yamasaki's office or firm lasted during his lifetime. And when he passed away, I think that was the end of the Yamasaki office. Helmut did not want that. He wanted a firm that would live out and grow beyond the founders.
In Season 1, discover the untold stories behind HOK's meteoric rise, from 150 employees in St. Louis to a powerhouse with over 1,900 staff members and 27 offices worldwide.
You know, they weren't as polite as the Kojima people. That was just boom. And anytime you have a creditor, whether it's Kojima or the bank, that wants their money, unless you can raise money someplace else, you are out of business.
Bankrupt. And hold on tight for Season 2, where Patrick takes us on a new adventure as chairman of Building Smart International, shaping the future of digital transformation in the design, construction, and operation of built assets.
Ian Howell, Ken Harold, and I, Ken was my technical representative from HOK. The three of us took a tour of Europe of 5 cities in 5 days. Very busy time.
Simply follow the link in the show notes to subscribe to Build Smart now and uncover lessons that will transform you and your architecture firm. Hey, architecture firm owners and emerging leaders. Get ready for unparalleled insight into the development of a world-class architecture firm and a worldwide organization driving the digital transformation of the design and construction industry. With Build Smart, the podcast that's changing how our profession operates. We share the incredible stories behind innovation in the building industry with my friend and co-host, Patrick McLeamy, FAIA, former CEO of the international architecture firm, HOK.
You know, Yamasaki's office or firm lasted during his lifetime. And when he passed away, I think that was the end of the Yamasaki office. Helmut did not want that. He wanted a firm that would live out and grow beyond the founders.
In Season 1, discover the untold stories behind HOK's meteoric rise, from 150 employees in St. Louis to a powerhouse with over 1,900 staff members and 27 offices worldwide.
You know, they weren't as polite as the Kojima people. That was just boom. And anytime you have a creditor, whether it's Kojima or the bank, that wants their money, unless you can raise money someplace else, you are out of business.
Bankrupt. And hold on tight for Season 2, where Patrick takes us on a new adventure as chairman of Building Smart International, shaping the future of digital transformation in the design, construction, and operation of built assets.
Ian Howell, Ken Harold, and I, Ken was my technical representative from HOK. The three of us took a tour of Europe of 5 cities in 5 days. Very busy time.
Simply follow the link in the show notes to subscribe to Build Smart now and uncover lessons that will transform you and your architecture firm. Architects, mark your calendars for the Ehrentreu Architect Community Annual Meeting. It's the business conference for small firm architects. From October 23rd to the 25th, join us in Nashville, Tennessee, for an event dedicated to small firm entrepreneur architects like you. Experience inspiring keynotes, interactive workshops, and unparalleled networking opportunities. This is your chance to learn, share, and grow with peers who understand your journey. It's a unique conference, unlike any of the others. If you're a small firm architect business owner, this event is for you. Secure your spot today at smallfirmconference.com. Don't miss out. Join us in Nashville and prepare your firm to thrive in 2025. My name is Mark R. LePage, and you are listening to Ehrentreu Architect Podcast, where Each week, I speak with inspiring, passionate people who share their knowledge and expertise, all to help you build a better business as a small firm entrepreneur architect. Today at the podcast, I'm thrilled to have Blima Ehrentreu with us. As founder and CEO of the Designers Group, Blima has been working to combine her creativity and talent to reform the design industry. Her passion for empowering women, giving back to the community, and a champion for women in the workforce earned her a spot on the Globest Women of Influence in 2020 and 2022, and Crain's Notable Leaders in Real Estate in 2023. Under her leadership, the Designers Group ranks among the fastest growing private companies in the New York metro area. So join us today to explore her innovative approach to integrating technology and human-centric design in our projects. Blima, welcome to Entre Architect Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here. I can't wait to talk about your design philosophy and the way your practice works and the work that you do. But before that, I want to learn more about you. So when did you discover your passion for what you do, and who or what inspired you to get started?
I could probably trace back my first interest in design to when my parents moved my family across the street from our childhood home. And they began the process of taking down our home and building a new one. And I was fascinated by the process. First, the demolition, watching the foundation getting poured, the foundation getting laid, the walls going up. It was so incredible for me to see what started as a 2D floor plan, lines on a paper, really became our new home.
How old were you when that happened?
I was probably about 15.
Mm-hmm.
So that was when I first discovered this curiosity about what goes into the building process and what is the construction industry all about, and how does one take a plan and execute. And being a creative person, naturally, I lean towards the artistic part of construction, which is the design side. And I went to design school. I got a master's in interior architecture and design. And my first job was actually working for an architectural firm. So what I wanted to learn was the technical side of design, how a structure is built, what are codes that are implemented for safety. And after that, I was approached by another designer. She asked if I want to partner with her and work on some projects together. And what began as a 2-woman firm in Toronto really blossomed into something amazing that I could never have imagined. We opened an office in New York and now in Miami as well. So it's been an incredible ride, an amazing journey, and we're just getting started.
So Toronto, New York, and Miami.
Yes.
Tell me about the firm. What type of work do you do?
So we're a commercial interior design firm. And when I say commercial, I mean that we're working on larger size projects. So we'll work on residential or multifamily developments, as well as a lot of senior living and healthcare communities. We're working on office. We recently got into schools. So we really look for projects where we can make an impact. We believe that the designs that we work on and the environments that we create really make a difference to the people who will be using those spaces. And the motto of our firm is actually designing with purpose, creating a better world. And we use that as the impetus for the vision of any project that we're working on. And we really place a lot of value on trying to understand what our clients are trying to achieve with the spaces they're bringing to market, and how we best can help them deliver the most innovative solution and create spaces that really maximize what the intended use is.
So in your firm, I'm assuming you're using lots of technology. What type of technology are you using to both design and present your projects?
We're all about leveraging whatever technology is available and how we can best maximize their capabilities. So there's a standard drafting software that we use. There's the standard 3D softwares that we've been using for a while. But what we've recently started integrating into our process is AI technologies. We can work with generative programs and come up with design ideas, inspiration, floor plans, and really using the different programs that there are out there to help us be more efficient with our design processes and the options that we're presenting to our clients. So none of the programs that we know of right now are at the level where we need them to be. So we've been just using a bunch of different applications and working with them together with our design team to help us, specifically when it comes to the inspiration phase, where we want to come up with different ideas, different color tones, different furniture styles, different ideas of how we can use the space, as well as presenting it in photorealistic ways so that our clients can actually visualize what we're presenting to them. But another technology that we've been implementing is VR tours, which are virtual reality creations of the spaces that we intend to build. So our clients can put on a headset and feel like they're actually in the space before it's even built. So that's been pretty incredible. And we've seen such good feedback from that, because not only are they able to get on the same page as us, but we've been able to involve all the vendors and our team, and everyone's really on the same page because they're able to experience those spaces.
I love it. I want to dive into the AI first, and then I want to talk about the vision technology. So with the AI work that you're doing, you said that you're doing some generative design. How are you integrating AI into your workflow, and how is it different from the way you were doing it prior to using AI?
For example, Midjourney, that's a program that you can give some prompts and create an image. So when we're looking at a space and we're trying to figure out what is the best use for this space, we want to think of different ideas, how we can best approach it. So right now, Midjourney is really just commands. We can say, create a room with large windows that will be used for parties, but at the same time can also be used for a learning center. And we have to take whatever AI comes up with and use that and refine it. But it helps us imagine different possibilities. And within a few seconds, it can create different options for us that by us looking at it, oh, hey, look, how about putting a desk in that area that we didn't think of, that we could actually turn it into a screen, for example. But it's not advanced enough where we can say, here's the space that we have, take it and come up with options for us. So we use it as a tool alongside what we're trying to create. We have another software that we use that helps us with different color combinations. So we can put together different color palettes and present that to our client, or even amongst the team when we're trying to come up with the best color variation for the space. We're also using different sketch to imagery softwares, as well as plugins that help us with our 3D renderings, where we can put in the blocks of an item into SketchUp, and with softwares, they can actually create different forms and different ideas of finishes into the space. So all of these programs definitely help us, but it's when it's coming to the design inspo, when we're thinking of how best to utilize a space. But then we need our team to come together and look at what those options are and how best to leverage the ideas that we were able to come up with this way. We also have different photoshopping abilities and programs that help. Even Photoshop came up with their AI tool that helps to fix images. So there's so much out there right now in so many ways. that we can leverage AI, and we're trying our best to stay at the forefront of the technology that's out there because we want to deliver the best solutions for our clients. And by staying on top of the latest and greatest, we are able to do that.
Yeah. So in the early stages of your design process, you're using it much for inspiration, right? Much like you would use books in a library, you'd pull the books off and say, okay, let's look for some projects that are similar to what we're doing here and see if we can get inspiration on what other designers have done. Leveraging AI, you can use those same prompts saying, I want to create this space, get ideas back, and then use those inspiration to create some of the projects that you're doing. I love that idea. And obviously, every tool that we have today is starting to integrate AI into their platforms. You mentioned Photoshop and others that are doing that. SketchUp is using AI now, and it's speeding up the process. It's helping us render faster. It helps us create different rendering solutions. You mentioned color. Very quickly see this space in multiple different variations, where prior we'd have to go through and render multiple models in different colors to show a client different colors. We can do that in seconds now. It's a fascinating time that we're living in with all these different tools and technologies. How are your clients reacting to the work that you're presenting to them, and how are you presenting it to them? Are they expecting that you're using AI, or do they not even know?
They're expecting us to be the best at what we do. And because of that, because we are the best at what we do, we want to incorporate any technology there is out there because that helps us have an edge, as well as when we're talking about generating different design ideas, or even the example that you gave by going to a library and looking up books. Being able to Google something is a lot faster, it's a lot quicker, and you have everything at the tip of your fingers. So it's the same idea for us. We're still doing the same amount of work, but we can do it so much faster. And our clients love it because we're giving them more options. We're taking them along with us on the journey. And for sure, any of the VR and any 3D capability where someone is able to imagine a space definitely is a game changer. So when they're able to see the process from A to B and understand what we're doing, it just brings the whole project to the finish line much quicker and keeps everyone on the same page.
You mentioned vision technology and VR tours. How are you leveraging VR in terms of your presentations? Are you doing that live and in person? Are your clients coming into your offices and putting on the headsets and you're walking them through it, or are they remote and seeing things on a screen? How are you leveraging VR?
So we have both options. We're able to send the videos over. There are different options. They can put it on their phone with like $10 glasses that you can buy on Amazon, or there are the headsets that are a lot better, more advanced. But we've also done where people come into our office. We recently had a dinner for a project that we were working on. It was a nonprofit and they were raising money for the building. And we had a few people from our team come to the dinners, set up the headsets, and the people were able to experience what the space was and what they were donating towards. And the executive director actually called me and told me that they received some amazing donations once people were able to see what it was that they had in mind, so that their vision was aligned with what this was going to be, and the donors felt a part of the process. So we believe it's extremely helpful when selling, when promoting investors and a deck. And really, there's so many scenarios that it can help with and really put your project in people's eyes and minds in a way that people weren't able to experience before. And I know the technology is only going to get better. I recently went to an open house where they were showing the space with headsets, but not just that. They had someone walking around with you so that where the sofa was, they would put a chair underneath. So you felt like you were actually sitting down, and all it was an empty room. And they would say, would you like a glass of champagne? And if you put your hand out, there was someone there handing it to you, but you were in the space as well. So I do believe that the technology is only going to get better, and AI will definitely help with that. But that's going to be a game changer.
Let's take a quick break to say thank you to our sponsors for their support of this episode. Architects, listen up. Is something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? Regardless if you have a clinical mental health issue like depression or anxiety, or if you're just a human who lives in this world and is going through a hard time, therapy can give you the tools to approach your life in a very different way. I know this community of small firm architects very well, and I see many of you struggling. That's why I reached out to this episode's sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easier because it's online, it's remote. And by filling out just a few questions, BetterHelp can match you with a professional therapist in as little as a few days. It's easy to sign up and get matched with a therapist. There's a link in the show notes. It's betterhelp.com/architect. Just use that link, betterhelp.com/architect. Clicking that link helps support this podcast, but it also gets you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp. So you can connect with a therapist and see if it helps you. If you need someone to talk to, consider online therapy with BetterHelp. Click the link in the show notes or visit betterhelp.com/architect. That's betterhelp.com/architect. Thank you to BetterHelp for supporting this podcast and for supporting our community of small firm architects. ARCAT's Spec Wizard is the tool that will help you save time writing specifications. Going through the manufacturer's specification line by line to find the right product leads to frustration and errors. And that's where Spec Wizard comes in. It's a free, patented tool that allows you to select products and options error-free and generate a 3-part specification in minutes. Go to arcat.com, that's ARCAT.com, and try Spec Wizard today. Please visit our sponsors today and thank them. Thank them for supporting you, the Entree Architect community. With fundraising and charities, and also even just presenting your projects and trying to convince your client that what you've designed is the solution to their problems, much of that is an emotional response we're looking for, right? Especially with fundraising, right? Fundraising, if somebody puts on a headset and experiences this space in real time and they can see what you're going to do and the improvements that this project is going to bring to them, they have an emotional response. And with that emotional response, they're much more willing to give. And the same thing with your clients, when they put that headset on and they walk through the space that they've been dreaming of, and now it's in reality right there before their eyes, although it's virtual reality, they have an emotional response. And it's much easier to show your idea and have them follow your solution than it was when it was a 2D drawing on a piece of paper.
Exactly. I remember always hearing, seeing is believing. Now, I don't even know what I believe when I see things, but I believe that the premise of that is real. Once you see something, it's a whole different experience.
What are some other real life examples that you've used these technologies, AI and VR, in your practice?
When we're looking at a floor plate of a building, there are programs out there that can help with floor plan design. So it can generate floor plan options. But again, like I said, none of the technology is where it needs to be yet, because it won't take into account beams sometimes, or columns, or windows. But it is a quick way to look at a space and really understand what could and can't work within the space.
What are the tools that you're using? Specifically the VR headsets. Are you using a Vision Quests or MetaQuest, or have you experimented at all with Apple's Vision Pro?
So I have not used the Vision Pro yet. We've been using Google's headset, but I was recently in the airport. I was in the lounge and I saw someone sitting with a headset and they were typing on a keyboard. And I was recently working on office design and I was speaking to the stakeholders and I explained to them that in the near future, there will be a time when people will be sitting in an office space, but they'll all be in their own space. So it's just something interesting to consider when we look at technology and how quickly it's moving and how we can think what is going to be happening and thoughtfully design our spaces so that they can accommodate how things are changing and where we'll be in a few years.
Yeah. How has your firm reacted and adjusted to the shifts that came from COVID, where everybody was working in an office? You do lots of office work. Everybody's in office, right? So the office design was designed a very specific way. Today, things are different. Some people are working in the office. Some people are working from home. Some firms are completely remote. How has that shift changed the way you're practicing?
That's a really interesting question because I always think about how times were before COVID and how we've adapted. And as a firm, I'm really proud of the changes that we had to make over COVID and how we've been able to leverage them to make our firm even better and help us attract and retain talent. We were able to set up processes that allow team members to work remotely. And we set up different ways for our team to work because we're a super collaborative team. And when we're working on spaces, it's all about the experience that you have in the space. So before COVID, we couldn't even imagine working on that when we're not together. And we took the time to really develop different programs and work with each other with different softwares to create a way that we can do that. And it's been super instrumental in helping us continue to grow and, like I said, retain and attract talent. So that's number one. We've used that time to really grow as a firm, but also to look at the office spaces that our clients are asking us to do and approach them differently. Number one, when we're designing conference rooms, we don't just design them for the people within the space, but we also design them for Zoom calls, which was never thought before because so many meetings are taking space in conference rooms that are on camera. So you want the people that are in the space to have a good experience as well as people who are not, so that we can create a space that works for people in person as well as virtually. And that actually leads me into our backgrounds for Zoom calls that we created over COVID, where we were on so many Zoom calls with people and we could see messy bedrooms and kitchens behind the people that we were engaging with. So we came up with an idea of virtually designing offices for people. Their branding was there and they can give it to all their employees so that no matter where you are, no matter who you are, the sense of professionalism for your company is showing through. So that was an interesting project that we worked on because there were no budgets. So we worked with companies' branding to best express who they are and what they wanted their employees to be sitting in front of during their calls. But that's something interesting in general because so much of work is hybrid, where there's that in the office sometimes, not in the office at all, always in the office. We have to create spaces that will work with whatever environment will happen. And sometimes a team is mostly in office, but there will be times that they will not be. So we've just been working on creating spaces that work and maximize the company's branding as well as their culture, the productivity, and trying to imagine what would bring people back into the office. What would make it engaging for people to want to come in? And there are so many things that we've been able to implement and incorporate for that so that people do want to come into the office if that's what the client wants. So it's been really interesting, and we love brainstorming, we love strategizing and coming up with innovative solutions to maximize our office projects.
Yeah, that's a very interesting approach because when you think about retail spaces, retail today, if retail is not an experience, it's going to fail, right? Because retail has moved to the online environment. Any brick and mortar retail that's succeeding is succeeding because of the experience that people have when they go to that retail space. So I love the idea of looking at workspace the same way, of making workspace so desirable that people want to go there more than wanting to have the flexibility of being home. Can you share some of the things that you've done in order to encourage people to come back to work and want to be in those spaces?
So what we look for to encourage people to come back into the office is, what can this office offer you that you won't be getting at home? So number one is spaces where people can collaborate together as a team, and looking for ways that can optimize that collaboration. So when we're working on these group areas, how best can people work together? Giving them different screens and different options for gathering together, and working on flexible seating arrangements where they can work as in pairs or in groups. So we're really looking at spaces for collaboration as well as wellness areas so that people feel comfortable at work. They have the areas that they need when it comes to that. So when you're looking at gyms, yoga rooms, areas for nursing, for mothers. So really putting those spaces in. We're also looking at creating areas where people will be productive. So how best to make the space optimize performance. So these are just some of the examples that we came up with. But overall, obviously, a good cafeteria. People love to have a great space to sit and eat. And the restrooms, making them a comfortable experience. So really just making it a place that people want to come into and it's worth it for them to want to leave home.
Yeah. So responding to that human desire for community,
Yes.
right? Especially after COVID, being locked away for several years, everybody wants to be back with other people. And it's taken us some time, right? We've had this transition period where it's been difficult to come back to socialize and to be part of community again. But I think there's a strong pull towards that. And that's what you're responding to.
Yeah. And I think that design has transcended just what it looks like. And everyone really understands that it's about the experience. So it's not just in the office space, it's in the residential space as well. People want to live that experience of having a community, having a lifestyle. And that's really what we try to offer for our residential projects as well. When we're looking at the amenities that we're offering, what kind of amenities would someone want so that they're happy to come home, so that they want to live here, that they want to rent here or buy here? So I've been seeing it across industries when we're working on senior living communities as well. Recently, it's not even so recent, but when you mentioned COVID, we worked on a stream of urgent cares. And we looked at it from a hospitality experience. Why, when you get a facial or a massage, is that a luxury experience? But when you're getting stitches or have to go see a doctor for some pain or ailment, that becomes this anxiety-ridden experience. So we implemented a spa-like environment, a spa-like feel in the space so that when people came, they had that experience. And it was so interesting because at the grand opening of the first location, I was there and I heard they had city officials come, there was ribbon cutting, and I heard one of them say to the other, like, hey, this feels like a spa. And I walked over to him. I said, did someone pay you to say that? That was our vision. That was literally what we were trying to deliver to any of the patients who would walk in. We wanted them to feel like they're in a spa. So I think it's really about the experience, how the space feels, how it smells, how it looks, how it sounds. I mean, we're all about all five senses being engaged in the space. When you're in a restaurant and you can't hear the person sitting near you, or you're in a nursing home and it smells like bodily sense, that's not going to be enjoyable for the people there. So we think about all five senses when we're working on a space, and that in turn gives people that experience when they're there.
Yeah, it sounds like your firm is very much responding to the current time we're living in, right? The technology is changing very rapidly. You're leveraging that technology. We're coming out of the transition from COVID, and there's a desire for community and coming together. You're responding to that. People are starting to focus and respond to their own wellness and the wellness of others. It's becoming a priority. Again, as a result of COVID and the way that we've experienced that, people are taking care of themselves and more focused on the way they are experiencing their everyday life, right? There's lots of stress and anxiety in our current environment, in our current world. And responding to that through design is, from what it sounds like, some of what you're doing. And so I love that you're looking at the way our world is today and adjusting and rapidly changing to address those concerns of our world.
Thank you.
So as we wrap up here, I'd like to ask you my final question, Blima. You're an architect. Well, you're an owner of an architectural interior architecture firm. You're an entrepreneur, is what I meant to say. You have 3 offices. You have lots of employees. We have thousands of architects listening. I'd love for your answer to our final question. What's one thing that a small firm architect can do today to build a better business for tomorrow?
I believe as architects and designers, it's all about the impact that we have. And really looking at the spaces that we're working on and optimizing them for people's experiences within it makes all the difference. So taking the time at the beginning of a project to strategize properly and trying to imagine what will best service the people within that space, because we're all about human-centric design, making sure that our designs are appealing to the people who will be using it, and not just appealing, but maximize their potential within the space. And like I said, designing with purpose, creating a better world is all about who we are. And we take that to the next level by incorporating different give backs and charitable initiatives through our firm. So I believe that by making the world a better place, you can continue your impact and continue to grow and change one space at a time for the better.
Her name is Blima Ehrentreu. The firm is The Designers Group, and you can learn more about them at thedesignersgroup.com. Blima, thank you for joining us today and for sharing your knowledge here today at Entre Architect Podcast.
Thank you. It was so nice chatting with you, and looking forward to staying in touch.
All right. Thanks for coming by. If you liked this episode of Entre Architect Podcast, please share a link to this episode with a friend. Either just click the share button or highlight the URL and send the link to this episode with a friend, because that's how Entre Architect has grown to serve thousands more architects just like you throughout the 10 plus years of Entre Architect. That's how we've grown, architect to architect. So I would love for you to share this episode and all the episodes with one friend every week. We'd love that. And thank you to our sponsors for this episode. We don't have an episode if there's no sponsors. So thank you to our sponsors. Links to those sponsors, which you should go visit and click, and all the resources that we discussed today for this specific episode, they are all available at entrearchitect.com/podcast. Every episode that we've recorded is there, entrearchitect.com/podcast. Go click the links to the sponsors and say hello. Entre Architect is a member of the Gable Media Podcast Network. You should go visit that at gablemedia.com. That is the next evolution of interactive media and resources for the AEC community. You can now earn continuing education credits for listening to select episodes of this podcast, Entre Architect Podcast. Yes, AIA CEUs for listening to a podcast. It's there, and many other podcasts are there as well, and you can listen to all of them and get credit. Learn more about our program, Gable Members Program, at the gablemedia.com/members website. That's GABL media.com/members. And if you are a small firm architect Join us today at Entree Architect Network. That is the worldwide organization for small firm entrepreneur architects. If you own your own architecture firm, you are an entrepreneur architect. You are an Entree architect. With weekly live group business coaching, we have business coaching there, monthly live business training with AIA CEUs, 2 a month, so 24 AIA credits per year, including 12 of those are HSWs. We have them in the membership. Business resources, all the resources you need to run your business, special session webinars, mastermind groups, and a thriving community of small firm architects just like you. Hundreds of architects are there waiting for you to join. So we provide the support and encouragement you need to succeed as a small firm architect. I know that you haven't been trained as a business person when you launched your firm. That's what we do. Come learn how to run a business at Entree Architect Network. And today, you can go join right now for free for 30 days at this link, entrearchitect.com/30 days will give you free 30 days for membership. Go check it out at entrearchitect.com/30 days, and I will see you there. Thank you for listening to this episode of Entree Architect Podcast. My name is Mark R. LePage, and I want you to remember 3 words: love, learn, share. Have a great day.
Imagine earning continuing education credits while doing exactly what you're doing right now. Well, you can. Gable Media has revolutionized the way you earn your continuing education credits with a groundbreaking approach. Forget running around town and scouring the internet for credit-worthy courses. Fulfill your CE requirements effortlessly by listening to engaging podcasts just like the one you're listening to now. Our podcasts are designed to educate, entertain, and inspire, all in a user-friendly environment. But wait, there's more. Architects, Gable Media is also approved as an AIA continuing education services provider. Upon completion, we handle everything, from reporting your hours directly to the AIA to storing your certificates in your personal Gable Media profile for your self-reporting needs. So follow the link in the show notes and start earning your credits in the most innovative and entertaining way possible with Gable Media.
Attention architects and creative minds, get ready to supercharge your brand with Build Your Brand, the podcast that's unlocking the secrets of branding success for creatives. Hey there, it's Mark R. LePage, founder of Entree Architect, and I'm inviting you to join my friend, architect marketing expert Jeff Eccles at Build Your Brand podcast, where he explores the captivating stories of the world's top brands and transforms their lessons into powerful moves for small firm architects and creatives like you. In Season 1, Jeff shares the thrilling tale of Southwest Airlines, where he dissects their journey to the summit and distills it into strategies tailor-made for you.
It's important to keep in mind that companies like Southwest compete in the real world, just like you, and face real-world challenges, just like you. You might be surprised at how similar those challenges are to the struggles that you grapple with on a day-to-day basis.
Don't miss out on your blueprint for success. Subscribe, tune in, and let's build your brand together.
You may have noticed that the very best brands in the world are also known for having somewhat unique corporate cultures. That's often the glue that holds everything together when they encounter those rough spots.
We don't do it because it inconveniences the passengers to whom we are primarily dedicated, the short haul, frequent flyer.
Follow the link in the show notes to subscribe to Build Your Brand today. Remember, no matter the size, the journey's the same. Your brand's journey to the top starts here.